I'll make sure my questions are here. Hello, 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 everybody. So good to have you here. And I have the most amazing Kelly joining us. I would love to say her full name. Well, I can do the Anderson bit, but do you want to say your full name for me,
Kelsy
Kelsey?
Anderson Hoerauf.
There you go. There you go. So Kelsey is just the most wonderful, mindset coach, healthy mindset for life, and she's a therapist. And you know what? I don't even know why I'm starting to explain who Kelsey is because I think that she can actually do this job herself. She's the most amazing woman and a most amazing influencer. And so, if you've got anything going on in your mind right now, you want to be listening into this lady, let me tell you. So, I'm going to just ask you first of all, who's Kelsey?
Well, Kelsey is a therapist of 10 years. So that's something I've been doing for 10 years. A leader in a lot of ways. That's something I'm really focused on. Being a martial artist as well, and being a black belt from the age of 16.
Wow.
That sort of set me up to lead. I was, telling other black belts what to do and things like that at the age of 16, 17. So I'm just really somebody who likes to go for it. And more recently, I've made the transition into coaching, where I coach leaders and I coach women um, on ways to be future focused and get their future goals going and get into their own power, and recognize their own strengths. I'm very strength based in whatever I do. I will, if I'm working with you, or if I just know you, I will point out your strengths and be like, hey, look at, you're really good at taking care of your family, running this business, doing that, all these things. And it's funny that I started out as a therapist because they're a lot of times very focused in the negative, in the the illness and the disease, and that's not really where I've ever been. So I've always been kind of a maverick or a misfit in that way, and just had my own sort of agenda.
Mm, that's awesome. And I know what your strengths are and your positivity, number one. So I can completely vouch for Kelsey. That is absolutely for sure. So, what was it that really first piqued your interest? Because I know that you'd said to me before about you like to coach women leaders in particular. What is it that
Mhm.
really piqued that interest in there?
Well, just more of doing my own personal work and getting to know myself and realizing that I am naturally a leader. And I was like, no, that's who I want to work with. I want to help other women leaders to step into their own, and maybe any things I've struggled with, they're struggling with. And I can come alongside them and say, hey, you know what? Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't we get you into a mindset where you're really embodying that women leadership role, instead of sort of, a lot of women sort of put it off and sort of say, well, but this is more important or that is. I work with women who are willing to prioritize themselves and say, you know what? It's actually better for my company and my family if I prioritize myself and have some time to work on me. Like, that is vital. That's non negotiable. Like,
Mm.
that's the sort of thing where I can step in and say, yes, you want to do that? Let's do that.
And so, one of the things that I find actually about leadership is that there's very much people out there who are the reluctant leaders, because I was certainly that myself. That, I've been told all my life in different areas that you're a leader now, and I just didn't even see it myself. So it's women out there who are thinking,
Mhm.
well, oh yes, that would be nice, but no, I can't. I guess that would be the woman as well, because you can really, the
Mhm.
reluctant leaders I find are the best ones.
Yes, yes. And that's something I work with. Like I said, I bring out that leadership. I keep pointing out, you're leading here and you're leading here. You're leading at home, you're leading at work, you're leading, and these are these women leaders, but they, like I said, at first they don't see it. But
Mm,
I see my job is to sort of hold up a mirror and be like, no, but look, look at what you're doing, look at who you are, and work to embrace that rather than always sort of downplaying it.
mm, And sometimes as well, I find that some women are afraid to step into that, into their greatness, as if they were going to be more of a masculine energy. But we can certainly be a strong female presence. I find is something. But I just love the fact that you've done martial arts and been a black belt. Like, Who wants to be coached by a black belt? Let me tell you, that's good. Some wake-up punches you're going to be given there.
Right on, right on. And that leadership was developed from such an early age that, at least in part in what I do, it was there. And then the rest of me sort of had to catch up with, like you
Mm.
said, inwardly accepting.
Yeah. So about the process of discovery of this passion, it's always not such an easy journey, is it? So there's good moments, and I have found that actually it's the challenges and our darkest moments that have actually led us to this. So what's led you to be doing this coaching?
Yeah. So I would say one of my darkest moments was realizing that I was relying on outside sources to somehow validate me inwardly or help me take on this role of leader that I sort of saw myself as, but I was trying to step into, but not sort of fully taking responsibility and saying, oh, I have to do the inward work. Like that's what I have to do. Like I hired every coach and did every program and did, was doing all this stuff. And really, I just needed to slow down and do stuff for me and make sure that I was showing up as me every day, whether it was in person, on social media, or whatever I was doing. That was what I needed to do. But yeah, the darkest moment was I realized, oh no, I've done all this outward stuff and I'm still not getting it inside. So then that's when I realized I had to make a shift or else I was just not going to get it.
Mm. I know, and that's where most people is, isn't it? They understand it intellectually, but it
Mhm.
hasn't actually filtered through into the results yet. And you're going to be able to see that and help people with that. So that's just awesome. And do you consider that? So it's like, what mistakes did you make along the way? Because I'm thinking it's never a
Mhm.
mistake learning too much, because you've got that knowledge. But were there other
Mhm.
anything else that you would say along your journey that's led you to where you are now?
Um, One of the mistakes I would definitely say was taking on roles that maybe weren't in line with me completely. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like selling this product or doing this thing. And like, that's all great, but it's, you want it to be in line with you. You don't want to feel disingenuous when you're
Mm,
saying, like, so I think I sort of used things like other things to sell, but not in a healthy way where you're just expressing yourself and say, hey, yeah, this helped me, but in a way of kind of hiding behind it and saying, oh, well, I'm selling this product now, so I can put this product here. And now, like I said, it's, having done the therapy and now doing the life coaching, it's just me. Like we're just talking about working with me as an individual instead of saying, oh, hey, buy this, do that. So I think that I just let other distractions sort of get in the way instead of staying true to my course
mm.
and doing where I could make the biggest impact instead of just like where I could make an impact.
Hmm. If somebody's saying here, I don't know who they are because it says Facebook user, but it actually says top tip. And I'm just going to put it on the screen there. It says try corporate training setup. So I've absolutely no idea what that means, but it's always good to have tips. You never know, there's things that we
Mhm.
miss ourselves. And whenever that's the whole point of putting ourselves out here so that, we're here to co-create. And some people may have different ideas for you. So I have no idea what corporate training setup is. And perhaps they would like to message you privately after this. So that would be really good.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I just can't see their name. So,
Okay,
so
yeah.
yeah.
That's so funny. That's
What's the
that's
number one
that's
piece
right
of
in
advice
line.
you
Mhm.
want? Sorry.
I said that's right in line with me and what I was just telling you earlier. So that's interesting that somebody,
Very
picked up on
interesting.
that. That's really cool.
It does come up. Were you listening to our conversation? And we weren't live, so no way. What's the one piece of advice you'd give people who are facing in a struggle? I mean, Christmas is a time, isn't it, that
Mhm.
we've had Trina on before where she's talking about, what to eat and what not to eat. She's talking about the physical aspect.
Mhm.
What about yourself with inner struggles as, over the Christmas period?
So it's within you, which I've sort of already said. Um, but don't give up. If you have this crazy big dream of things you want to do and how you want to support your family, or how or you want to have a family, right? Any of it. Like, don't give up just because it seems dark now and you're realizing, oh no, have I done all the wrong things? Like, what's happening here? It's the holidays and I'm not set up in my life in the way I want to be, you know, yeah, definitely don't give up. I mean, that's the biggest thing, because I feel like, just like if you're mining gold and you give up right before you hit that vein, guess what? You're out, But if you keep going, and it's the people that have a consistent message and keep going and growing as a person, those are the people who end up doing very well.
Hmm. And that's one of the things, isn't it? Persistence. And that's why you're here today, isn't it? Because you haven't given up.
No, I did not. I kept going and I was like, I'm going to figure this out, or whatever needs to happen. Start meditating more, or, get in touch with myself, mind, body, and spirit, and not just adhere to just the mind and then forget everything else. Because that's what we like to do in our society. We're very heady, very headspace oriented. But yeah, there's not just the mind, it's also the body, it's also the spirit. And as soon as you start tapping into more of it, you're just going to be more connected and things will start to line up more for you.
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. That's exactly what I find as well. And so, especially since we've had a message about corporate as well, put it on here. So she does look like the corporate executive coach, doesn't she? Absolutely. And so if you are executive coach out there and you would like to speak to Kelsy, just how can they get hold of you? I mean, I've got along the bottom of the screen here.
Yes.
It's on email,
So
Kelsy.
they can have my email, or actually Kelsy Anderson Hoerauf, the way it's spelled, is also my Facebook. So if you look up that, I should be the only Kelsy Anderson Hoerauf there. Just put in Kelsy Anderson and the Hoerauf should pop up.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely reach out to me on Facebook. I'm more than happy to talk. I have a group that I do some cool stuff. I'm about to do a giveaway because it's the holidays,
Oh,
and I
that's
just
interesting.
enjoy.
So everybody get into
Mhm.
her group. She's going to give a
Yeah.
giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and that was Jackie Duns who actually did that. So I'm just going to say thank you, Jackie, so that you can see
All
that.
right.
There you go. So she's given that piece of information. So I don't know what that is. But listen, do you have any last words of wisdom for people? About, like, we want to end. People tend to wait till January, don't they, until they do something. But actually, when we can end 2021 the way we're beginning 2022.
Yes.
Yeah. How does that look like for you? I mean, what are you going to be doing?
I am going to be continuing to grow, continuing to work on my myself, and really just continuing to expand and look at what is it that I really want to dive into here, and getting going, because I'm very much a person that I love, using my skills, strengths, talents, and abilities, and bringing out others' skills, strengths, talents, and abilities. So, like with my coaching, I offered, or I guess I have one spot left, but I'm offering a free month, because yes, people don't want to, they want to wait until January. I'm like, well, if you hop in now, you just get a free month. So may as well start right now. And that's why my people I'm coaching have already started, even though it is the end of the year.
Yeah.
So,
But it means that instead of setting New Year's resolutions, whenever, gosh, what am I going to do this year? You've already decided. So you'll already start next year, ready to go. That's a brilliant offer. Make sure you pay attention to this. So that's absolutely brilliant. So listen, Kelsy, thank you so much for being on here. It's been an absolute privilege, and I'm looking forward so much to your journey over the next year. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So everybody who's watching, just keep a lookout for Kelsy. And if you resonated with her, then make sure you check her out and you get into her group and for her free offer. Like, I don't know, what's to lose? Nothing.
right. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much.
Super duper. Right, everybody, I'm going to say goodbye. Kelsy, you and I can stay on a little bit longer. I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody else. Happy Christmas, everybody else. See ya.